Mental Ray is a third-party plugin for Autodesk Maya that allows an artist to produce highly detailed and photorealistic renders. What makes Mental Ray such a powerful technology in the industry is its compatibility as a third-party software with other 3D rendering technologies, its ability to calculate shadows by a process called ray tracing, and its ability to simulate indirect lighting using Final Gather and Global Illumination. It was developed by Autodesk and NVIDIA as a standalone rendering software, and it was first implemented in Maya 2009. Since Mental Ray is an Autodesk product, it's not a surprise that it works with other Autodesk products such as 3ds Max or Autodesk Softimage. However, Mental Ray is also used in other industry standard 3D softwares, one such as Domus 3D, a tool that is typically used for creating household set pieces in 3D scenes and has been a driving force in the industry today. Final Gather is a Mental Ray setting that deals with indirect lighting. It's mostly used for smoothing out blotchiness in renders caused by global illumination. What Final Gather does is it samples light rays that bounce off other objects as well as the environment in the scene, in order to calculate the total amount of light that is hitting an object. By doing this, it causes secondary diffuse bounce light, and it can affect the color of transparent objects as well as its shadows. Final Gather is a setting that you will most likely use in Maya when dealing with indirect light, and is best with scenes that have even and overall lighting, like scenes in the daytime or in the early morning. Be careful, however, when using Final Gather that your settings are not too high. Final Gather produces quality renders at the cost of long render times. So when rendering with Final Gather, it is useful to set your settings low when doing test render. Another one of Mental Ray's many uses is its ray trace shadows. Ray trace shadows are shadows created by light rays and intersecting geometry in your 3D scene. When you turn on ray trace shadows, you want to make sure that your lights also have their ray trace shadow settings turned on. This way, your lights don't simply illuminate your scene, but they send out shadow rays. You can adjust the quality of your shadows using your max sample level, which controls how many light rays in an area the computer calculates. Depending on how much light it calculates determines the splotchiness and fullness of your shadows. Be careful, setting these settings too high will also cost render time, but ensure high quality renders. The shadows in a scene can be either hard or soft shadows, depending on how big the light source is. Larger light sources tend to cause softer shadows, while smaller light sources give off harder shadows.